Hi friends! It's time. You asked for it and I've been wanting to do it. It is time. Yes, redemption for the Axolotl. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to this video and watch it. Quick rundown, I had a grand idea to paint a majestic axolotl using only crayons and a heat gun. It did not go well. He definitely did not come out looking like how I imagined. And there were so many things that I should have done differently, so today we're going to try again. Okay, one of the first mistakes that I made was doing the picture on canvas. I had originally tried my crayon technique tests on watercolor paper, and on that same paper I created Ruby. But for some reason I decided to switch to canvas, and gessoed canvas at that. The canvas didn't absorb any of the wax from the crayons at all. So when I went to blend with the heat, it just pulled all of the color up. So I'm going to go back to watercolor paper. This is actually the exact same watercolor pad that I used for Ruby, so I know this at least works. The next thing I want to redo is my drawing. I didn't spend that long on my sketch for the axolotl, kind of assuming that I would fix it as I went. That didn't really happen. So I spent a nice chunk of time off camera working on this sketch. All of it is done in pink pencil so that I could go over it easier if it didn't fully erase, but I am going to give him an outline this time of fine liner. I might regret it, but I just think that it'll help keep me on track. Based on what he looked like before, I fixed his head shape and gave him a bit of a neck so he doesn't look like when you fix a Barbie whose head popped off. Probably the biggest change was these little doohickeys on his head. The first time around, they were all different sizes and shapes, so I really focused on making them match. I also made his hands and feet a little less pointy and aggressive than they were before. They are still looking a little weird, but it's progress. And remember his weird square butt? I fixed that, and now he's got a nice juicy donk. I did change the tail just slightly, but I am going to keep the same facial expression, but hopefully do it better this time. The last change that I made was the background. These tealy blobs back here were supposed to be seaweed, but they got kind of out of control, so let's tidy that up a bit this time. This whole piece is a bit smaller than the first one, so hopefully I'm going to still be able to work in these little tiny areas. We're going to see. Then we need our tools. We have the same old tub of 30-year-old crayons that I've used every single time, and I have my blending stumps and my heat gun. Now, another thing that I am not going to do this time is try to make it look all aesthetic by lining my crayons up along the side, therefore melting them to the side of the canvas. Now, before I get to actually coloring, I forgot to give him a little tummy patch, so I'm just going to freehand that. Now let's get to coloring, starting with these little doodad things up here. I went back and watched the video where I created Ruby to remind myself of how I worked with the crayons for her. I'm going to start by going through and coloring the whole area with the colors that I want. In this case, 3 different shades of green. I'm using medium to light pressure, but watercolor loves crayons. The color is going on really nicely even before the heat gun. Then I'm going to use my heat gun to heat the wax while I use my blending stump to blend the initial layer. Imagine that. A heat gun to heat and a blending stump to blend. Dodo. While the paper was still hot, I went back in with another layer of crayon to really build up the color, and I'm immediately blending that out. I did only put the heat gun on the paper while I was blending and pointed it away while I was using the crayon, because I don't feel like turning my whole crayon into liquid. I am going to try to remember to brush off the little crayon bits after the paper has cooled down. I don't want to smudge all this work again. The blending stump does kind of start to get a little gunked up after a layer or two of blending, so I kept a paper towel nearby to get some of the wax off, and I also had sandpaper for when I really needed a clean start. On this section, I also noticed that the blend looked nicer if I blended after each color, as opposed to doing a whole layer with all 3 crayons and then blending. Ooh, that looks so good. It looks like jelly candy or something. I'm finishing up the rest of the green on this guy in pretty much the same way. I am going to try to blend the hands and the feet gently into the arms and legs later, so I'm keeping that in mind when choosing where to make him darker. Once he's cooled down, I can brush all the crusties off and get to work on the blue areas. I remember when I was working on the axolotl before that I spent so much time trying to get the right shading and blending on his head, and it still came out looking like that. So I'm hoping this time around it will go a little better, especially because I really like how he's looking so far. I do feel like it's going to be harder to blend out since it's a larger area, but I'm going to try to be patient. When I started melting the wax, I realized that these colors were actually a little closer in shade than I thought they were. See how light the lightest color is before it's melted? But once it's heated up, it darkens. That might be a problem. Which it was when I got to his face. The middle area kind of starts out a mess, but I just experimented a bit, which is always a great idea on the main focal point of a piece, but I just experimented going back and forth between the lightest and middle blue, adding a little bit of white crayon in to lighten it. Now, the darkest blue is a little cooler in tone than the other two, so blending that got pretty ugly for a bit, but a little bit of white crayon seemed to soften that up. Eventually, we get there. It ended up way darker than I thought it would, and the blend isn't quite as nice on his chin, but still, we're making progress. So I kept going with the rest of his body. I figured out that it actually works better to work in small sections, and I mean small sections, like an inch or so, and to blend immediately. That wax will sink into the paper so fast. Especially if it's two colors or shades that are a little farther apart, like that cool tone dark blue and the tealy medium blue, it's much easier to meld them together if they're really hot. There actually is a really good trick for this, but I don't figure that out until later. You would not believe the amount of things that I learned while working on this piece. I'm definitely excited to experiment more with it in the future. Like, I learned that if I accidentally go over the outline, I can actually lift a little bit of the color with an eraser while it's still hot. It doesn't work for big, large areas because it will eventually just tear up the paper, but even if I can just pull up a little bit of the color, I can cover it later. Since the axolotl himself came out a little bit darker than I was anticipating, I am going to try to lighten him up later, but first I'm going to fill in the background. I'm really trying to improve my art time management skills and not spend hours and hours on tiny little adjustments before I've even finished the necessary chunks. So I'm going to start with the seaweed, and for that I'm going with 3 different colors, the same as I did for the axolotl. I don't really have a great plan for the shading because shadows underwater kind of confuse me, so I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, and that's that. I'm hoping that this won't take a long time, but I am trying to remember that I need to work in smaller sections. It's really easy to want to cover as much area as quickly as possible when it comes to the background, and I fell victim to that a couple of times, but I do still remember the struggle from when I was working on this particular part the first time, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. Remember how I said I found a trick for blending 2 colors that are different undertones? Yeah, so while I was working on the seaweed, I figured out that it actually works better to start with the darker colors first. Then, when you layer over it with the lighter colors, the darker color still shows through, but the blend is a little bit smoother. I don't think it would work with a really light color. Like on his head spikes, I still want that super duper light green on the edge, but for the darker colors, I actually think it helped a lot. I also found that going over all of it with the lightest color evens out the texture. Like, my lightest seaweed color is this sort of, well, it looks like mint in the crayon, but once it's melted, it looks a little more jade. But I used that to go over all of the darker areas at the end, and it really got rid of that paper texture showing through. It's not opaque enough to really lighten the color up too much, but it added enough of another layer that it smoothed everything out. I feel like someone in the comments on the last video suggested using white for something like this, So if that was you, you were right. I'm definitely going to be using that to my benefit on the rest of this piece. So I finished up the rest of the seaweed, and while I got a little too wild and went outside the lines quite a bit, I'm pretty sure that I can fix that. Now, before I move on to the background, I completely spaced that the original piece had bubbles. How could I forget that? So I need to add some on here real quick. Also, I am legitimately scared to do the background. I'm really liking how this is looking so far, and I'm really worried about ruining it. I don't want to have to do redemption for the redemption of Axolotl. But at least if I do ruin it, we all know what he looked like now. Okay, for the background, I'm going to go with the same purple to pink gradient again, and I still really want to do that pinky sort of glow around the Axolotl. I have a sort of a plan, but I'm not sure yet if it's going to work. But I need to clean up the paper and wax crusties that are everywhere on my table. I don't know if you can see them, but they're like tiny ticking time bombs waiting to mess up my picture. Okay, so my plan. First, I'm going to break my colors down into even more shades to try and make the blend a little more gradual. Then, I'm going to start at the bottom with the darkest purple, blending into a slightly less dark purple. I'm going to color on my first layer, like I have been, then I'm going to blend it with a stump, and then go back over the heated paper with another layer to really build it up. Then, I'm going to use this sort of bluey purple gray color to go over the whole thing and smooth it out. Not only will that even out the texture, but I'm hoping to use this same color on the top of every purple and pink in the hopes that it will help blend them a little more seamlessly since they'll all have the same tone on top. Does that make sense? Now, when it comes to the glow around the axolotl, well, I didn't really have a plan, but I did kind of leave the tiniest bit of space between the purple and his butt, and I just used a couple of hot pinks right there, and that looks pretty okay. So I'm just gonna stick with that plan. I did add a glow over the seaweed too, because I wasn't really sure of the visual rules of a glow, but I'm not the biggest fan of how that looks. Oh well, moving on. So I just kept working my way up through purple and into pink, and I'm really trying, but not necessarily succeeding, to be patient and work in small areas. But it's just so boring. And I'm so excited to get to areas like the bubbles and his eyes. You can kind of tell how fast I'm trying to work by the small, constant earthquake on my desk. I also think that if I had a chance to go back, I would maybe pick lighter colors for the axolotl or lighter colors from the background, because the whole thing is just coming out a little bit too dark. Watch this become the most ridiculous series ever, and I just redo this painting once a year for the next 30 years. I do think the background is a vast improvement from before, and the best part about it is that it's done now and we can move on. So now I can finally move back to this guy. And I'm going to use this sky blue crayon to go over the highlighted areas and try to lighten them up, and also maybe even out that texture a bit. I'm not sure that it made the absolute biggest difference, but he just needed a little retouching. For the bubbles, well, I probably should have come up with something better, but what I did was take my dirty blending stumps and use the color that was already on those to draw some curves on the bubbles. Then I used a white crayon to go over the whole thing. I don't think they look bad or non-bubbly, they just seem a little too bright and white for the rest of the picture. But I don't know what else to do with them, so that's how they're gonna stay. So finally, we get to move on to his eyes. And I want these to be dark, but also have dimension, so I'm gonna do dark blue down here and then black on top. And then heat and blend. Now, from here, I'm gonna cheat a little. He needs eye shinies, and honestly, I'm not sure that anything short of dripping hot white wax is even gonna show up over black, and I really don't feel like dealing with the potential disaster of that. So we're gonna go with paint marker. Also, he has spots on him, and not only did I super struggle with them on the canvas, I also forgot about them until he was already done on the paper. So we're gonna go with paint for those too. don't judge me. The urge is so strong to just add a few little details to this with paint marker. Okay, I gotta do it. And I'm gonna call this guy done. Well, actually, I'm gonna call him Alex, but he is done. If we compare it to the original, I definitely think that it's improved. Obviously, there are always things that I would do differently, like I would maybe change the background colors, or have Alex be a little bit lighter, or maybe make the bubbles stand out less. But overall, I really, really like the new one. I am so happy with it. Maybe, like I said, down the road, I'll do this again and see what else I can improve. But what do you think? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.